Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, won't you, folks?
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. It's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better.
This is the Candyman from Studs Racing. We've got tires, and tires. We've got big ones, small ones, street ones, off-road ones. Oh my God. Why do we have so many tires? Tires. We have so many enough tires. Tires. Come on and get your tires.
Oh my God, we got so many tires.
Tires. Come see us. Dearborn Heights, Michigan, studsracing.com.
Pipes ain't pipes nowadays, everybody. Exhaust flow technology is what it's all about. We've got the king of exhaust flow. It's Frank from F&B Racing on this episode of Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. Don't miss it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. This is season 8, episode 6, and we're with the Turbo Daddy tonight. Yes, that's right. It's Franquez, the F in the F&B Racing, Joe's Minibike Reunion Hall of Famer. He just moved. He did like a lot of folks are doing. They left California. Frank ended up in Arizona. I want to say Bullhead City. If you haven't checked them out, you can check those guys out, F&B Racing, on any of your social media fixes, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Go-Kart USA. Check those guys out for all of your mini bike and motorcycle needs, and our friends from studsracing.com, your one-stop shop for everything performance. Big shout out to our friends over there, Eric. Look forward to seeing you soon, not only at Joe's Minibike Reunion, but possibly SEMA Fest. And also give a shout out to our friends over at Dingo Moto USA. Those guys have a new crowdfunding opportunity where you can get in on either a Dingo Moto mini bike or, I don't know, a t-shirt or a cap, whatever you want, from apparel to actually buying one of those cool mini bikes. They blend that vintage look with modern technology and electric power plant and powertrain. Check those guys out, Dingo Moto USA. Okay, everybody. Hope you had a good one. Hope you're enjoying your summer. I'm trying to. Getting ready for Joe's Minibike Reunion, and we've got a lot of good activity happening. You may have caught the last podcast where we had on Al from Go-Kart USA. We'll be giving away one of those XRS basic go-karts that you guys can go crazy and modify after you win it. We'll also be giving away a GTS 8-inch roller. I'm sure our friends from Stud Racing will continue their support with some power performance bolt-on parts, or who knows, maybe even a Tillotson engine. We've had a variety of support, including Mo Fabco, F&B Racing with pipes, Green Filter USA with filters. You know the deal. We love giving out free stuff at Joe's Minibike Reunion. If you'd like to register your bike now, visit us and save at joesminibikereunion.com. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and send those in. Folks, we're at the final weeks of tabulating the top 50 personalities in the mini bike hobby. Don't complain afterwards about us not considering you or considering someone else that you think is appropriate. This is not a fan selection. This is guys and gals who have legitimately contributed to the mini bike hobby beyond building a mini bike. They've contributed in a way above and beyond. You know who those guys are. They stand out from everybody else. You know who those gals are. They stand out from everybody else. Let me know who you think should be a part of the top 50 personalities. Some names have come in. Bobby Hammond, David Rivas, John Fear. There's a contingent of folks down in Florida that names may be not too familiar to us, but there's a lot of guys making a lot of things happening, not only in California, but everywhere else. So we're equal opportunity admirers. If you have somebody that you know is making the needle move in the mini bike community, I want to know. Let me know. All right. Over the years, particularly since COVID, California's got a little bit of a shitty rap. Oh, we're leaving. Well, place is still awesome. The weather's great. People are great. The food's great. You can do anything you want, anytime you want. However, we do have some of our challenges, whether it's politics or whether it's homelessness or, I don't know, big city blues. Some folks took their ball and went home. Some folks just decided it was their time. Not everybody left because they were mad. A lot of folks left because they were excited with opportunity. And with that said, our guest for tonight is Franquez. Frank is the F in F&B Racing. He not only is a hot rodder, obviously a true mini bike aficionado. Ask around. Ask anybody and everybody who's in the mini bike hobby about F&B Racing. And what you're going to hear about F&B Racing is that they're really good guys. And probably more pointedly and selfishly, they make really good products. Whether you're looking at buying a complete mini bike, which I'm hoping to do from these guys, I've never owned an F&B. I hope to. I also have been fortunate enough to own their pipes, stage 1, 2, or 3. I've currently have one that Frank's helping me on a little 79cc Temecula Bob micro build that Jake Moe's handling for me. Daryl Smith from BDS and my friends at Fastlane Racing are helping me put together that 79cc. But Frank's supplying that pipe. Frank decided that, it was time. He was, in fact, Emmanuel, you and I rode out there one time. I'm still hot from that trip. Where was it? Palmdale or Lancaster or one of those desert towns? Still hot. Yeah, okay. So he left. And it's not like he went to Alaska. He went to Arizona where it's probably hotter. But hopefully it's a little bit better for him. Whether it's business-wise, whether it is mental, who knows, who cares. But Frank's now at, I think, Bullhead City. We're going to find out how he's digging it out there. It's 119 out there yesterday.
Hello, Mr. Joe.
Hey, Frank, you are live on Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. How nice to hear your voice, and great to have you back on the podcast. It's been a minute.
Awesome. It's great to be back. I'm glad you called me.
Oh, it's always nice chatting with you, Frank. I had kind of set this up where I don't know if it was a direct result of COVID or whether or not it's just the way things are, but a lot of folks over the years have decided that California may or may not still be the place for them, whether it was personal or whether it was political, whether it was business related. You're one of the guys who has been a longstanding California, not only resident, but business owner, doing quite well. In fact, quite successful compared to a lot of others in their attempts. And you have made the choice to relocate to Arizona. And I want to be sure to find out not only why you left, but how's it going for you, Frank?
Everything's going real good, Joe. I mean, most of my business, as you know, is primarily internet based. So people buy the stuff off the internet, and then I ship it and ship it to them for the most part. But a lot of reasons for moving out of California and coming to Arizona. One of them was to stop the crazy commute that I was doing every day. I'd spend 4 hours a day driving just to and from work, building the custom cars. And it's crazy because here I'm literally 8 minutes away from my shop.
Nice to hear, because it does take its toll, Frank. It's taxing to be in that car, not to mention the uncertainty of the traffic, but also nowadays, I don't know about you, like I'm driving a pretty decent car. I'm going 80 miles an hour. People are still passing me on the right. The way people drive nowadays, let alone dealing with the traffic, whether it's the amount of time or the financial aspects of the high cost of gas, it is a game changer, isn't it?
Absolutely. And mine was quite opposite of what you just said, is that I don't have people passing me at 80 miles an hour. I'm the one doing 5 miles an hour for 50 miles in each direction to get to and from work. So that was the toll over 20 years, and I'm just done with that.
A certain calm as a result, Frank?
Well, I'm sorry?
Do you have a certain calm in your life now as a result?
What do you mean?
Are things a little bit calmer for you now and that the pace has changed?
Yes, definitely. It's a lot less, I should say, how should I phrase it?
Hectic, maybe?
Stressful and hectic.
Sure.
Not having to deal with that commute every day, and dealing with the traffic is just horrible.
Frank, tell everybody, where exactly are you?
I'm actually in Bullhead City, Arizona. And I'm about 2 minutes away from the river, right off of the main highway.
Well, that was an added treat, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Do you have boat applications? I mean, a pipe's a pipe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you had any of those local guys ask you to hop up their boat exhaust? How common of a request is that, or have you got into that at all, the marine side of it?
It's not really common as far as that goes yet, because being here near the river, there are quite a few people who do the boat repairs and hopping them up and all that stuff. Now, the things that I'll get into is more of the fabrication or repair side. These guys will have boats put in storage for 9 months out of the year and go pull them out and not pay attention, and they pull into town and they got a broken axle or they got a broken trailer that they didn't know about, and I'm there to weld it up.
Well, I want to tell you, not only am I excited and happy for you with your move, but I also am excited about the fact that this is another new opportunity for you in your business career. The B part of the F&B, your brother Brian, has always been another popular, not only celebrity in the mini bike world, but a pretty solid name in terms of engine building and bike building. What is Brian's role currently with the F&B organization in light of the move?
Well, we both do quite different tasks as far as it comes with F&B. My brother's always taken on the engine aspect side of it and done that, and then he'll help out the local guys do work to their bikes and all that stuff there in LA and Rancho Cucamonga and all that good stuff. As far as me, obviously I'm more on the fabrication side, so I'm the one who takes raw product and turns it into something. So we both have our own niche at what we do.
And how is Brian adapting to the fact that you've moved? Is there any future plans for him to join you in Arizona, or do you think Brian will remain here in California? I know he's got a family that's probably rooted, but is that a topic of conversation at all about him joining you maybe in Arizona?
No, it hasn't really become too much of a topic, but as you said, that he does have his family there, and he still has young children, and his son is just started playing tackle football, and so he's got quite a bit of time. The kids are well rooted in their schooling and all that out there, so I don't see that being a change for my brother anytime soon, but you never know what the future brings.
Well, I understand that there's a neighbor that's not too far away from you that many folks are aware of in the mini bike world, Cliff Judd, or AKA Nick. He's up in your neck of the woods, huh? Have you seen him yet?
Yeah, he came down, and he was actually one of the first persons to come and see me. And it was about, I'd say a week or so after getting into the shop. And let me tell you, that move has been brutal, and it's still not everything is all done, because I still have a lot of stuff in California that's not at my new shop. But he came in and he saw it, and he saw what was going on there. There's been quite a few people who have made the trek out there. Even Ralph came out last week. I'm sure you saw the post, and stopped by the shop to say hi and all that good stuff. So hopefully one day, if everybody else is out in the area, then they can stop by and say a shout out here too.
Yeah, Cliff has not only been a cool guy to know over the years, he's been a longstanding supporter of the Mini Bike Show and always comes down. He used to always bring Mini Bike Paul. I actually had a chance to talk to Mini Bike Paul in between burps there. Sorry. I had a couple of beers. I talked to Mini Bike Paul, who you're familiar with recently, and I think a conversation with Paul went somewhere along the lines of getting old is not for pussies. He's into his later years now, and instead of spending time bitching and moaning about his struggles, he still maintained a lot of optimism. I hope to see him at Joe's Minibike Reunion. I know that he misses Nick because Nick moved and was kind of like a neighbor when he was out here in California. But a big shout out to Paul and Nick and Ralph. Yes, I saw Ralph. Ralph had the GTS picnic out here in SoCal. I dropped by. He had a nice turnout. You probably saw the photos as well. I posted a bunch of them. I missed you there like everybody else did, but you lived there because many of those bikes had your pipes on them. I think when you think GTS, you can't help but think F&B as well. Along the way, the exhaust game has changed. What's the latest in flow technology, Turbo Daddy? You obviously are the guy. Are we still in a stage 1, 2, or 3 pipe world, or are there new things that are popping up that folks need to be hip to?
The biggest changes that we've made are a couple of things that people have really came into liking over, all the years, but we started incorporating them onto our pipes as well as Jake Moe does them on all of his. And we've actually started using a flare or a trumpet tip at the end to give it that different sound, making them into a 4-stage effectively pipe instead of a 3-stage anymore. And, I constantly try and come out with a new design, something that can give people a different flair on their bike, if you will. People want a different look, a different sound, and of course I try and keep up my quality workmanship in everything that I churn out and give everybody a good quality product.
Frank, I think you've mastered the association of F&B with quality. The thing that I see is a lot of aftermarket pipes, yet what appears to be, and it's a mistake that I made as well, many of these bikes don't have the support bracket where the pipe is either bolted to the top of the engine or a place to stabilize it. How much of an effect does that have when you have a stage 3 or stage 4 pipe with a fluted end without any direct, secure connection to the frame? Obviously, that's a long pipe. There's a long distance where vibration could be a factor after time. Do you have any comments about folks that just put the pipe on without securing it with a bracket? Am I worrying about something that's not a real issue?
No, you brought up something that is quite an issue. There is such a thing as it may sound, that there is a pipe type or header type maintenance. You've got to make sure that the pipe stays tight because the vibration, as you said, causes a whipping effect, and it does cause it to fracture the metal as well as sometimes even break a weld. So I offer a brace with all of my headers when you buy it online from me, as far as even a clamp on or a bolt on type header, and it's necessary. I mean, you won't find a single car or motorcycle that's ever been manufactured that does not have this exhaust system securely fastened, and you hit the nail right on the head. When you take that long of a pipe and ride around on these streets in LA and everywhere else, and the vibration that it has, it will cause fatigue and damage the metal and break the pipes.
Yeah, well, good. And not only did I think about what the future consequence could be without it having a brace, and that's exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you. But there's a few obvious things that we can all do that will either maximize the life expectancy and wear of these aftermarket parts like your pipes are, and they're pretty easy. If it's just a matter of putting a brace on, especially when you have them readily available, I see a lot of guys that don't have them. Maybe that's something for some of you that are listening to consider. It's a very small fix. It's no different than lubricating your chain, Frank, or cleaning the air filter, right? Or changing your oil. It's the little things, whether it's the time that it takes to perform the maintenance or the investment in the cost of the small products. Hey, it's not as sexy as buying a light flywheel to buy a bracket for your pipe. But gee, you could be pretty happy that you spent that extra $15-$20 and got that done. And in typical F&B fashion, I'm sure you can probably find it in a variety of assortments in either polished or chromed as well. Frank, let me ask you a couple other things. I see in fact, you do a really good job. Check them out. Would you prefer folks check you out at the Turbo Daddy Instagram page, or is there an F&B page? How do you like folks to get a hold of you if they want to buy something?
Well, usually I do a lot of advertising and promoting of the product on Instagram, the Turbo Daddy Frank, but I also include in there on almost every post the fbminibikes.com. So people can go to the website and actually see the product, see it displayed in different pictures and all of the options that they have. And by all means, I love the phone calls. If somebody calls me and wants to know something about it and guide them through what to purchase that's going to be best for their application, I'm always at the other end of the phone.
Folks, we're listening to Frank Franquez, the F&B Racing. He's now located, it's Bullhead City, correct?
Yes, sir.
What's the address where you are?
I'm actually located at 1642 North Oatman Road, and that's in Suite B as in boy, in Bullhead City, Arizona.
Take a note of that, folks, especially those of you who may be in Arizona. I hope that maybe our friends from Muscle Mini Bikes, in fact, I talked to Joe Petralia not too long ago. He's up at Reno for Hot August Nights. In fact, you used to always go up to Hot August Nights, Frank. I remember having conversations with you when you were delivering some of those hot rods, those awesome hot rods that you built up there to Hot August Nights. Did you miss it this year?
Absolutely. This is the first year that I've missed it so long.
Oh, man.
And when I actually left where I was previously working, building all the custom cars, I had left a 1960 Ford station wagon, ranch wagon, and just completed the car, and that car went up there this year. And unfortunately, I didn't get to go see it, but that's part of change, and maybe in time I'll go up there and jump back into that.
Yeah, I at this stage in my life, the new opportunities aren't as fast coming as they did back decades ago. As you get older, a lot of the things that you had been maybe used to doing on an annual basis, sometimes that door closes. And there's always that chance to do it again, or maybe, who knows, maybe it was the last time that you attended that event. I've traveled across the U.S., and I wonder if I'll ever be back at Louisville for the NSRA event, or at Indy for the U.S. Nationals, or Daytona for the Daytona 500. But for those of us who have gone, and you've been to Hot August Nights enough times, you've made your mark, Frank. It's proven you've been able to put together some of the coolest hot rods, made a tremendous impact in the mini bike hobby, have put together a family-owned business that literally is the top of its game, and you're having fun still doing it. So I'd like to congratulate you not only with the talents that you have, but making it a legitimate, genuine family business that you guys have been able to have a nice livelihood over, to work alongside your brother without killing each other, right? So far, so good for you. So continued success there.
Absolutely. And I appreciate all the kind words.
Well, it's real. I thank you for your support. If you're coming to Joe's Minibike Reunion, you can always count on seeing the guys at F&B. They're always generous with the donations and the giveaways. We're giving away pipes, stage 1, stage 2, who knows, maybe even these new stage 4s. If you're looking for exhaust and flow technology, you need to check them out. It's F&B Racing. They're in Bullhead City now. He's already given you the contact information. Check him out on Instagram or Facebook. He don't mind talking to you on the phone. Don't give him an ear beating and then buy it somewhere else. If you're going to spend your time talking to him, he's going to educate you, buy your product from him. There's other options. Frank, is there anything else that maybe you'd like to mention before we let you bow out?
You touched earlier a little bit on the braces on putting on the headers. There's one other thing that most people don't do, and it drives me crazy because what they'll do is they'll buy a pipe from me or from anybody who sells raw materials, and they put it straight on their bike and they'll ride it around for 6 months, and this thing rusts and turns terrible and breaks. It looks really terrible. Man, I can't say enough that if these people want to get chrome on their headers or they want to get them HPC coated or anything like that, get a hold of me and I'll take care of you. We'll get a good looking pipe on your bike.
Great, Frank, because I think by folks hearing that, they'll understand that it's an easy fix. Go ahead and give them a call. It's Frank at F&B Racing. You can check them out. Again, I follow you affectionately on the Turbo Daddy. Is it Turbo Daddy or is there any additional letters or numbers after Turbo Daddy on Instagram?
It's Turbo Daddy Frank.
Great. So check him out on Instagram. I do daily. I see that you've been posting more than just F&B products. You've got a variety of performance products and not only chrome accents, but a variety of different options. You seem to be going deep into expanding your product line beyond just the exhaust and the frames. Is that right?
Yes, I try and offer a lot of different little bolt-on performance mods. A lot of people don't know, but I am an authorized ARC dealer, Tillotson dealer, a lot of different places that I'm a dealer for. So all of those products can be purchased directly through me as well. But we do focus mainly on the frame, forks, and the headers.
Well, there you go, and folks. I mentioned on the podcast, our last podcast, and I was talking to your friend Al Benaroya from Go Kart USA. He said to say hello as well, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Al's a great guy. I talk to him all the time. He is actually carrying my products as well.
Good. Al, as well as the friends from Studs Racing, Steady Garage, Go Karts USA, Steve's All-Wheel Drive. Many folks in the mini bike community have decided to display their products and their wares at SEMA Fest, which is the consumer SEMA show after party that takes place at the Las Vegas Proving Grounds November the 3rd and the 4th. For those of you who exhibited with me last year, look forward to having you back. For new exhibitors like Frank from F&B, and there's that beer burp, sorry. Emmanuel got here late, so I went to the Mexican restaurant earlier and, I had a couple beers. And
You're still enjoying them.
Yeah, it's like the gift that keeps on giving, Frank. It's that beer back burp. I invite you, Frank, and I think you were talking to the guys at Las Vegas Mini Bikes. Although sharing's not allowed, there's still an opportunity where maybe you guys can get together and who knows, maybe have some bikes on display. But mark your calendar. It's November the 3rd and 4th. It's SEMA Fest. SEMAFest.com for information. Imagine motorsports. Just think Chip Foose. Just think cool cars. Back in the day with Ken Block's group was doing the burnout competition. Imagine all that and now add some music and add in some craft food and beers for a couple days in Las Vegas. November 3rd and 4th could be a good hang. Let the world know about F&B Racing and your custom bikes and pipes. That's a little invitation for you, Frank. I'll follow up with you more appropriately. I'll look forward to seeing you at Joe's Minibike Reunion. Frank's already on board with his booth and his product giveaways, so you can count on seeing him there. And who knows, maybe there's some show specials for you at Joe's Minibike Reunion that you could take advantage from F&B. Frank, have a good rest of your evening. Have a tremendous, successful business there in Arizona. You can count on me stopping by if I'm ever there. If there's anybody with an earshot, particularly my friends in Arizona, drop by Bullhead City, say hi to Frank at F&B Racing. I'm sure he'll have a little something for you. I know that he'll give you some good education in mini bike fodder, that's for sure. Frank, thanks for being a part of the show tonight.
Absolutely, Joe. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the call.
Give a hug to my buddy Brian, either over the phone when you talk to him or when you see him next. I miss him.
Absolutely. I'll let him know. You said hello.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Joe.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Always nice to talk to cool people. Frank's one of the nicest ones. He's an OG. Turbo Daddy Frank on Instagram. A lot happening in the exhaust world, not only with what he's got going on, but some of the other folks. I like what Jake Moe's doing over at Mo Fabco. You can check him out on Instagram as well. I'm currently using some of his pipes. As I said, I've got an F&B coming up for that 79cc build Predator build that Jake Moe is crafting for me. Daryl from Big Daddy Motorsports is building that. I'm looking forward to getting that going. I also have a Honda Z50, a true barn find that I bought in Kansas during, I think it was like March this year. Daryl put a new top end on that for us. It didn't really need it, but we freshened it up. Hopefully I'm going to get that back. There's a couple rides and more ride outs that are happening. Most of those are available on Instagram. There's no time that they announce. There's no start location because they don't want the world to know. So, like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you're not in the know. Be mindful of that as well. Hey, if we can help you at all, it would be by telling you to make plans now for Joe's Minibike Reunion, October 14th, not Las Vegas, maybe someday. La Crescenta, CV Park, October 14th. You can register at joesminibikereunion.com. A big shout out to our sponsors, Go Kart USA, studsracing.com, and our friends from Digo Moto. Hey, everybody, that was episode 6, season 8 with Franquez, the F and the F&B Racing. I'm Joe Sebergandio from Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We'll see you the next time, everybody. Thanks for listening. Tell a friend, won't you? See you next time.
Minibike Show.